Gabe,
Nick,
and we are here today to bring you another installment of Cricket Convos. Honestly, this should be an installment of On the Couch. Nick, because I need to be on the couch.
CSK championship.
No.
First 2 wins in the Ashes, not even draws or anything.
Dude,
you shut your mouth.
Darkness.
Shut.
It's nothing but darkness.
You can't expect to have everything go your way. Before we get into it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. If you like more of these conversation videos besides reactions, you got to let us know by showing up, hitting the like button, commenting below. Let us know you want more of these, and we'll bring more of these to you. But
can we come back to me?
No, because
me. It's all about me.
Yeah, exactly. We're done with that.
First of all, West Indies, embarrassing. I can't. It's just dude. Honestly, they should be stripped of their test status. I'm done. I'm that done with the West Indies. It's so frustrating.
Don't forget, they didn't qualify for the World Cup.
They didn't qualify for the World Cup. It's embarrassing. Do something. India holding court, all right, when, Australia just smacked India in the WTC not too long ago.
Dark times for an India fan.
Just saying, it was dark times for India fans.
This is the best.
Welcome to my world. It's dark. I don't know what happened. Everything was fine with me. Everything was fine. Nick went to England. He must have kissed babies out there. Met the Queen, because all of a sudden, it's been darkness ever since you came back. Darkness.
Listen, so far, in this innings, oh my gosh, this pounding that India's putting on. So they bowled out the West Indies for 150.
Oh,
thank you, Ashwin, with your 5-er.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you, Deja, for your 3.
Oh, gosh.
Bring Ashwin everywhere. Thank you very much. But then you start off the innings for India with 2 centuries. Jaiswal's still batting. It stumps, and he's still out there batting. And then Rohit gets himself a 103. Your favorite, right? Who's got that win? Shoving Gill went down for like a few. But now Kohli's holding court with 40. In this innings, the West Indies has had 9 guys bowl.
You can't make it up.
9 guys have bowled.
You can't make it up. Let me ask you a question.
Oh my!
Do you think Ashwin and your boy Chris Wokes and even
we'll get to Chris Wokes later. You know we will.
Your boy Chris Wokes and even like a Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, you think they got like their own like on the couch therapy? Like what? We're some of the greatest bowlers. I mean, think about it. Ashwin is. There should never be a reason why Ashwin has ever left off the Indian test team. And more often than not, it's always a question whether he's going to be left off. I don't understand it. Why does India hate Ashwin? Why is he ever left off the team?
This is what happens when you have people who are making decisions that are trying to be smarter than the room, political reasons, getting back at players for whatever reason. I have no idea. Maybe Ashwin said something in one of his videos that ticked off some guy.
It's gotta
who's
be
the assistant or the husband of the wife of this. I mean, whatever it is.
I'm an Australia fan, and I'll tell you right now, England does not win that match, even with Australia coming in hobbled without Chris Wokes. You've been saying it for years. Chris Wokes is but they hate him. They hate Chris Wokes. I don't. Guys. Ashwin, Chris Wokes, you are welcome to come on the couch with Dr. Blasphemer. We can talk this through because they hate them for some reason. I
see your genius. Let's just say that. I see your genius. But India's, the West Indies, thank you so much for making us feel so much better. I love the fact, Jaiswal, I mean, he's in tests. He's not playing ODI. He's not playing T20. He's not playing T10. He's in a test match batting 140
The only thing that makes me feel good about it is that I called Jaiswal back in the day when I was like, what? The kid was a...
Guys don't go to the test team because they performed the IPL.
I was like, this kid's a street vendor. He was selling, stuff on the street. He got into the IPL. First time I seen him bat him, I'm like, this guy belongs. He was confident. He belongs. Yeah, go back and watch that video a couple years ago when we were like, yo, Jaiswal deserves to be on testing. This is IPL. This is T20. They literally threw 9 bowlers at him and not one. I saw the man kept coming after you. And he kept dangerous back. And I love Jaiswal. So it was a kind of bittersweet thing because just like Chris Wokes is one of your guys, Jaiswal, on that Indian team is one of my guys. And as a matter of fact, remember when we picked our teams a few years ago?
You gave up on him.
I didn't give up on him. I gave up on the team.
I'm just messing. All right.
Shifting over to the
So that's the first part of good news, okay? Things are back where they were. Now watch, West Indies will come back and beat them and I'll be crying.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
Now let's shift over to some excellent news in the Ashes. I still I'm sorry, I'm negative Nelly. I still think that Australia is going to, yes, they're going to win these Ashes. I'm sorry. I hate it. I hope not.
Are you crazy?
I hope not.
Did you watch the same thing I watched?
Did you not? Do you not see the brass that's making these decisions? How much do you want to bet they don't bring back Chris Wokes? And I'm not saying he's a difference maker.
They're right.
Yes.
There's no way.
How much
There's
do you want to bet they don't bring back Mark Wood, or in more reality, he's already injured or something?
There's no way.
And they're going to, as Hansel likes to remind the whole world and myself, my favorite Old Trafford, you're going to have the rain there. You got to have Chris Wokes and Mark Wood there. All I'm saying is this. In England, not India, England won the third match of the Ashes. They beat Australia. I'm not going to say a beatdown. They won by 3 wickets or whatever it was. But, yeah, 3 wickets. But they were able to stop, especially in that second innings. England only put up 237. They were behind the ball on Australia, and they were able to bowl them out for 224. And let me say this. Chris Wokes got himself 6 wickets, okay? 6 wickets in both those innings. Mark Wood got himself, I think, 7 wickets in those 2 innings. Do you know that both of those individual stats are more wickets than Jimmy Anderson took in the first 2 matches? And I'm not trying to poop on Jimmy Anderson, but when you got some younger guys, when you have some... Chris, when does he not get wickets in England? When is he not? Are you kidding me right now? There's compilations of him dominating at Lords. And you don't have the guy that's rested, the secret weapon. I know he was injured earlier, but he was ready to go. Why in the world? And everyone makes fun of me for my love for Chris Wokes. He got 3 wickets in both innings. And I'm sorry. Oh, actually, he just got the easy guys, right? He just got guys like Marnus. He just got guys like Travis Head. He got guys like Mitchell Marsh. Travis Head, the guy that single-handedly beat India in the WTC? He's an easy guy to get a wicket. And in the second innings, I'm sorry, he just got Uzi. He sucks, right?
Shut your mouth.
He just got Mitchell Marsh. He owns Marsh. And he got Alex Carey. Maybe that's
guys,
something.
And let me be
6 wickets.
I do not want Nick gloating right now.
Oh
but this is not Monday morning quarterbacking. This isn't hindsight. This isn't Nick trying to jump on the bandwagon. We've said on CFA, and the true CFA fans that have been here for a long time know he has an unhealthy man love with Chris Wokes. Unhealthy.
It's a realistic love.
Unhealthy man love. This guy's been talking about Chris Wokes forever. And to your point, even when the very first test matches we've ever seen, England versus the West Indies, Chris Wokes puts in work, but he's often left off the side. I'm serious. Let us know. Why does England hate Chris Wokes, and why does India absolutely hate Ashwin? I don't know. There's got to be something we don't understand, because don't tell me it's talent. It's not talent. It's that those guys are over talented. They perform whenever you give them a chance, and it's got to be, like you said, politics. They say the wrong thing, rub coaches the wrong way. Let us know. Maybe it's with the captains. I'm not sure. But to your point, this isn't Nick jumping on top of it. This guy has an unhealthy... Jody and I have discussed how unhealthy his man love. I'm going to be honest. Jody and I both got jealous. Like, if he says Chris Wokes one more time on the video, that got nothing to do with Captain England. He even gave him his own nickname.
Am I not right? Listen. The MCU has been in tatters for the last few years after Endgame, right?
It has.
Once you take away a Captain America, right?
Right.
You take away a Captain England, you don't win no Ashes. You put him in there?
Oh, gosh.
It doesn't matter if it's Root or Stokes or some other guy they love more than Chris Wokes, which is everybody. There's a true Captain England. It's Chris Wokes. The guy knows how to get it done. But I also want to throw some love to your man, Noeen Ali, right? Now he got his name back, Moeen Ali. Because, I'm sorry, in that second innings for Australia, where they have always been able to hold up, show up when in clutch time, he was able to get Marnus and Steve Smith. Just like that. The guy who came out of Test retirement. They called him. Stokes said, is there any chance? Moeen Ali. Well, tell Nick to stop saying it. Is there any chance you'll come back? We know you're retired. We know we're giving you this is a true story, a 5-minute notice. Can you please come back? Yeah, sure. I would love to take some Australian scalps. No problem.
Oh, gosh.
A spinner in England where Ashwin, his visa was revoked, right? His passport is
apparently that doesn't fly.
Always loses it when they go to England.
Come on.
2 huge. I'm just like, I can't gloat anymore. And the reason why, and you should be happy about this, what am I talking about? The bowling right now, because the batting, they did enough, but the batting besides. Now, I got to give some credit. Who is my man right here? Chris Wokes, right? Chris Wokes, till the end, when everyone was dropping like flies. Now, Harry Brook, he did his thing.
Harry Brook put in work.
He
Harry
was the
Brook
reason why they were able to sustain. He was awesome. Zach Crawley was good too. But when Stokes went down, when your man Bairstow,
oh Johnny Bairstow,
who is
we're gonna have
John Boy fodder, right? When he goes down, my man Chris Wokes, and Chris Wokes was allowing that's right, I said allowing Harry Brook to take the center stage.
Right.
But when they needed it, and they brought in Mark Wood, who was nasty by the way, 18 runs on 8 balls, he had a 6, he had a 4, he was disgusting. Who was the one that hit the game-winning knock? The guy I've been saying, he can bowl, he can bat, he can field. He might even shine shoes pretty good too. I don't know. But this guy wins the match literally.
Nothing else could matter, honestly, because this guy's head's never gonna get any smaller. Because Jody and I think he has a secret "I Heart Chris Wokes" tattoo on him. Guys, everybody that follows this channel, he has an unhealthy man love with Chris Wokes.
Am I wrong?
And the worst part is he's not wrong, because there's no way even Australia hobbled loses this game if it's not for Chris Wokes. Not only did he get the winning runs, he took himself, 6 scalps. Stop it.
Have you
All
heard
right?
of Joe Root before?
Oh my gosh.
Have you heard of Joe Root, the former captain?
Oh, I heard of Joe Root.
He got 155 in the first match, right? Chris Wokes had more runs than he had.
Jeez.
Chris Wokes lasted more balls. Chris Wokes had more runs than Ben Duckett, right? He ducked out on that one.
Oh,
he had more runs than Moeen Ali. That's where he went back to Moeen Ali.
No.
He had more runs than the captain, Ben Stokes, than Johnny Bairstow, but that's not really a surprise. Had more runs than Mark Wood, but that's not really counting because Mark Wood only had like 3 balls you saw. Chris Wokes was your third highest scoring player, but the guy sucks. The guy's trash. No one ever wants him to play. Nick, shut your mouth with Chris Wokes.
Oh, gosh.
Let
him get it out.
He's
right. He's right.
Did they win the other matches that he wasn't on the roster?
He did not. They did not win.
And I looked at the bowling roster for the second match. I don't know what England was doing because you had you had Ollie Robinson right in the first match, and you had Jimmy Anderson.
Right.
Nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
Both those guys are in their place, especially Jimmy Anderson.
Right.
Same argument you would make. Almost all the all-time wickets, like top 5 or whatever it is. Mark Wood was a monster. I got to give him credit. He was man of the match. He was an animal in that first innings, a 5-er. Coming off the injury block for the 95th time, this guy comes in. He would get that 5-er and win man of the match.
And you guys know he loves himself on Mark Wood. Thing about Mark Wood is, and we both just talked about it, the very first introduction we had to Mark Wood, but correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it with the Sunrisers? Very first game, very first ball, run out and got hurt on his run out or whatever. There goes Mark Wood, hurt again. The guy's always hurt. But when he's on the field, it was
actually Mitchell Marsh.
Was it Mitchell Marsh? When he's on the field, the guy can play. With that being said, I gotta give Nick all the credit in the world. He talks about how good Chris Wokes is, and he is. As an all-rounder, the guy puts in work. For whatever reason, he gets left off the side. I'm tired about discussing that. And the reality is that the selectors obviously think they know more than the putrid fans, even though how'd it work out the first 2 games? Just saying. Now, here's one thing I'm going to say to you, Nick. I still question, not Bazball, I still question Ben Stokes, and let me tell you why. Okay? I am a CSK fan. Okay? You're an England fan. You're a Moeen, Mr. Noeen, don't run Ali fan. And you know Moeen Ali is good for 2 things. All right? He can take wickets, and he can put up runs quickly. But as far as being a test player, Moeen Ali is not a number 3. Moeen Ali is not a number 3. Moeen Ali doesn't have the patience. Moeen Ali, you put him in there at the end, he's a 7 or 8, where you just go out there and crush or whatever, night watching kind of guy, put him in there and CSK's done this before, and T20, you can put him to open, right? 1 or 2, because he can get you quick runs. But he does not have the endurance to bat 2 or 3 hours. Has he ever? Find me 1 clip. 1. And they put him at number 3? Bro, he started at number 3. Between Ben Stokes declaring early, bro, Ben Stokes, if I didn't know any better, he owes somebody in England some money, and he's trying to throw these ashes away because the decisions he's making, Nick, to me, is just, to me, I still think that declaration earlier in the Ashes series cost England that match. He's made poor decisions. I'm sorry. All right. Did not give Jimmy Anderson the ball. I know what you're saying. Jimmy Anderson hasn't taken any wickets, but not to give Jimmy Anderson the second new ball That's just unheard of, okay? Now, I know he hasn't bowled because he's got a niggle or whatnot, but I think that, and we talked about this, captaincy matters. And to me, he's been out-captained this entire time by Patty Cummins. Now, people are going to say, Gabe, they just lost. Wait. I'll talk about that now. Don't think that Ben Stokes was the one that said, yeah, what do we need to win? Let's go get me some Chris Wokes. Let's go. You know what he said? Chris Wokes is not even certain to make the next game. That's captaincy. That's captaincy. Listen. He's like, oh, Moeen Ali, that's not his fixture in the spot. We just put him in at 3. He doesn't know what he's doing. He is not. I'm sorry.
I could be wrong. But I still think it was a night watchman thing. I think it was a third session decision. I could be wrong on that. I gotta say though, I don't know if I would give Pat Cummins all the credit because I think Australia has a better group of consistent pacers. Hazel was the only one that gets injured sometimes, but you can put a bowler in there who's still doing good things. He can't catch the ball, but still doing good things, right?
I hate you.
But you also have a murderous top 6 guys.
Right.
So Australia's got the lineup right now.
Right.
And Warner's not even performing for you. He has the ability to.
Right.
That's what you should be upset about right now.
Right. But no, I'm going to get on
murderous row,
and
then it's murderous row for the bowling. So I think Australia just has a better squad. England cannot put together a decent innings for crying out loud. No one can support any kind of partner. I mean, honestly, you can't do it with this team. People just keep falling left and right. It's the bowling that won this match, but they've got, and it's been the same story for years now. They can't get before it was Joe Root for like a year and a half. No one else would help him out.
Right.
I don't know what the answer is, but you've got to figure it out. I know they hate themselves some carries, but I mean, this guy's been doing things in other formats. I don't know if he's ever played Test. I don't know about that. But their batting makes me, that's what I worry. It's suspect, and it makes me think that they're not going to win the Ashes. But man alive, if they can win the next match or draw it and then win the other, they'll at least retain the Ashes, and that would be huge.
Here's the problem. What was the difference? Because you said this was a close game. 3 wickets. What was the difference in the game? And this is where I'm going to get on Patty Cummins right now. The difference were the all-rounders. The all-rounders, your boy Chris Wokes taking 6 wickets, 3 apiece in the innings, getting the winning runs, 32 runs, putting in work, right? You get, what's the boy's name? Moeen Ali, right? Taking those 2 huge wickets or whatnot, even though he didn't bat. The all-rounders. The all-rounders for England, for England produced. For some reason, and I don't understand this, and you see this all the time, Patty Cummins and Australia seems to think they can't play 2 all-rounders at the same time. Okay? Explain to me why Cameron Green is not on the side. I get it. Mitchell Marsh put up 119. Mitchell Marsh is a bigger batter than he is a bowler. Does that make sense? He's not going to go ahead and give you that
He's
balance.
More to bat than the ball.
Exactly. And if you have them both in there, explain. Australia fans, what? Is there some rule? Is there some law? I don't know that you can't have 2 all-rounders. All right, that's a mistake by Patty Cummins. It absolutely is a mistake by Patty Cummins because you knew you were going in light with no Nathan Lyon. Nathan Lyon tore his calf.
He's a dog.
Again, I'm not gonna make excuses. If Nathan Lyon is there though, this game doesn't happen. Because look at, to your point, the spinners put in work. All right, Moeen Ali got himself those wickets.
2 wickets.
Okay,
he went and got 8 wickets.
And did not get pumped. Murphy, the replacement, 0 wickets. I think maybe 1 wicket ended up getting, but was ineffective. All right, Nick, there were 17 wickets taken in this match. 17. Out of all 17, they were all taken between 2 guys. Patty Cummins, literally his back, get him some Advil. His back must hurt. All right, eat, yum, delicioso. Take it, take some Tylenol. Taking all the wickets, Patty Cummins, and then of course, Mitchell Stark, all right? But realistically speaking, going back to Mitchell Marsh or whatever, 380 economy ain't bad. No wickets. He's not a Cameron Green. All I've heard is Cameron Green is the future. He's the truth. He's the next guy. Why is he left off the side?
Is he injured? I have no idea.
No, he's not injured. He's not injured. Stop the garbage, all right? You know who got injured? Nathan Lyon got injured batting, which really drives me crazy because that's one of the things, like, he helped win that second match. But even at the press conference, he says, I knew the risks. You know what I mean? Tore his calf, Nick. He's out. They're saying, maybe is he out for the whole series? He's out for the whole series. He's a bowler. There's no way he's coming back and bowling with a torn calf. He's done.
If he's a man, he will.
I'm just kidding. Bro. And Murphy is their only other answer. You got, what's his name, Hazelwood, who's hurt. Right now, you don't think with 2 more tests to go that Patty Cummins or Mitchell Stark the oft-injured Mitchell Stark is going to get hurt? Are you serious right now? Australia's in trouble. I call it right now. If they don't win this next match, they're going to either lose the Ashes or England will just retain, or it'll just be retained because, again, they'll end up tying it. They need to win this next match desperately, and I don't see how they do it.
I think India's the same, or England's in the same situation. The thing about Nathan Lyon is it's a miracle that he doesn't get injured more because they rely on him so much no matter where they're at. He's usually their lone man as that spinner. He's been phenomenal. And people give a lot of the credit to the Cummins and the Starks and the Hazelwood, and I'm forgetting someone else right now, of those Pacers. And Nathan Lyon, yes, he gets credit, but not nearly enough because he's so good at what he does. I don't know if in these conditions, if he would have made the kind of difference of those 3 wickets, but you can't say he wouldn't have. You never really know. The spinners didn't really eat. I don't know what Martis and Steve Smith were doing. They got by Moeen Ali. Moeen Ali. But it was
still Moeen Ali.
At least we have a series. At least we have an Ashes. This is the biggest thing in cricket. And at least we have a series right now. And I'm very, very interested to see what happens with the bowling situation, because if you had to choose, right, maybe Jimmy Anderson's ready to go. Stuart Broad's gone 3 in a row. We haven't seen him go 4 in a row in a long time in a series, so maybe they let him out.
He needs to be rested.
What I think is going to happen is they're going to say we only have one spot, Wood or Wokes, and if Wood's healthy, they're going to leave Wokes off.
There's no way they'll riot in the streets. They'll riot in the streets
because Wokes gets no. He gets the guy. You got to admit, the guy gets no love. Besides me, the guy gets no love for cricket. It's his wife, it's his kids, and it's me. Are the only guys that are supporting this guy? Okay. And in that order of importance, right? I'm like way down here, but I'm just saying,
there's no way.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked if they did it.
There's no way Chris Wokes gets left off, and there's no way Mark Wood get a 6 for here. There's no way Wood gets.
He got a 5 for, and he got man of the match. But here again, my bias with Chris Wokes. 4 of those wickets were tail enders. I'm just saying. I'm not taking away from Mark Wood. It's not all about wickets. He bowled amazing overs, and he was very, very effective. And he was able to come in with the bat and sling that around.
Right.
But you got to have both those guys on there because, I'm sorry, they won you the match.
Right. I mean, here's the thing that I'm concerned because, again, Patty Cummins is durable, but Mitchell Stark's not known for being durable. And Boland, Scotty Boland, I'm sorry, he's not in Australia. They say that the English conditions should suit him. I don't see it. Right now, I don't see it.
He's played very nicely.
Mitchell Marsh, again, he's not the guy. I know they consider him an all-rounder, but he's more like a Moeen Ali. He's an all-rounder that can bowl, but he's not a frontline guy that's going to give you...
The problem with him is he's injured all the time, and he doesn't get consistent games, so it's hard to make an assessment. I think your squad that they had in this match was more than enough to win. This was the first time we saw, and I don't know how many matches going back to the previous WTC season, where they weren't able to pull out the win.
And let me
the first time.
Let me discuss this. Do you think there were some lasting effects? Because we had to talk about this, about the abuse that the Australian players took at the fan of and to be fair, it wasn't even at the hand of the English players, even though Stuart Broad had to give them his piece and banter right there on the field. But it was literally in the coming up the clubhouse or whatever. It was some guy that actually works for he's like on the board of the cricket board out there in England. All the abuse that they took or whatever because of the whole Johnny Bairstow situation, which I want to hear your thoughts on that as well. But it's like, do you think that they were rattled? Because they got ugly. And that's something you don't ever see.
I don't think the Australian players...
You don't think... I don't feel like they came out with the same fire that they had. And maybe because they were down, again, of course, having lost Nathan Lyon to injury. In the back of their mind, even though everybody says, oh, yeah, we got Tom Murphy. Yeah, that's a big vote of confidence. Tom Murphy, or a guy that's got, 500 test wickets?
You don't believe in RoboCop? Murphy.
Just saying. So, to me, I feel like that might have had a lasting effects. And going back to, you guys have been here for a while. No, my unhealthy absolute Sinister Six. Johnny Bairstow's been on the Sinister Six forever. All right,
struggling.
I hate the Ginger Prince. Now, with that being said, I'm not an objective viewer right here. I'm not an objective spectator. I am biased. I get that. But I've always said he's not he doesn't have the patience for tests. He's more of a T20 player because he's going to give you your centuries, and he's terrible behind the stumps. He's been terrible once again behind the stumps. For England should have had a much better, that first match where, again, Ben Stokes declared too early, the mistakes he made. That came down, Nick, to the same thing, 3 wickets or something like that, and it was super, super close. Bairstow easily could have had 1 or 2 behind the stumps. He's terrible behind the stumps. He's not scoring. I think they said since he took over as England's main wicketkeeper, he's averaging 11 or 15 or something like that. Why is he there? Why is he there? And how do you feel about this controversy that was caused? By the way, what people are failing to realize is that Bairstow did it first, not just in this match. He's done it before. You walk away from your crease, it's like man-catting. You walk away from your crease or whatever, even if you're... So... how do you feel about this, and do you think he should be dropped? Because I think he's being a detriment to the team right now.
I personally think that he's close friends with some of the important players, and maybe even the selectors, because I agree with you. I don't... But, I mean, honestly, who are you going to put in there? Folks? I mean...
Folks is right now on a tear.
Well,
if you look at his domestic numbers, and you look at his... Dude, he's on a tear. He's a way better wicket keeper than Johnny Bairstow.
He's that sexy name, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if you guys have those phrases wherever you're watching this from. But a sexy name, basically,
the marquee player.
Yeah, those big name guys where, we got a Bairstow, put the fear in the hearts. I agree with you. I don't think that he should be on this squad right now. I think he's had so many chances, and I don't think he's produced to the level where he needs. As far as the controversy, you know my opinion about man-catting. I can care less. I don't care if I'm playing cards with my kids or these guys are playing cricket. You've got to have your focus and your strategy at all times. And if a guy's falling asleep at the wheel and he gets got, he gets got. If cricket fans, if we're gonna complain, he should, deep down, you know that you're complaining because your guy or your team did not win. It's as simple as that.
Right.
When my team loses, I'm looking for every excuse possible. The umpires, this or that, he didn't run all the way or whatever it is. At the end of the day, you lost the game. Right? And if a situation like this, you can call it controversial, you know my opinion, I don't care. If you can get a guy out, get a guy out. For me, what is the difference of having 17 guys in the slip, having a guy at short leg or at silly point trying to get that edge and trying to intimidate him? What's the difference? It's a strategy. It could burn you. It could not. And if you're falling with the wheel, bye.
I mean, here's the reality about it. I get why people are upset because, the first 2 times he left the crease, he grounded it, I think, the first time. The second time he didn't ground his bat or whatever. And he just take it for granted that, okay, I'm good. The ball is not in play. But the reality is he also tried to do that like in the first series. He's done that before in the past. So as a wicketkeeper, you should know that's a possibility, okay? It is too important. And to my point, I just don't think that he's having such a frustrating time batting because of his bad defense that he should know better. And I think that he hurt his team from that standpoint. As far as Australia is concerned, and I'm not crying here. Listen, that game is way different if Nathan Lyon's there. Unfortunately, he got hurt. It is what it is. But even with that being said, to your point, this was also a close game. David Warner, you got to show up. And no excuses for you. There's no excuses. David Warner, you got to show up. All right? It's as simple as that. You are one of the mainstays on this team. You got to show up. Smudge feels like he's falling asleep. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's going on with him. I need fire. And that's what I'm saying. Did they come out flat? Did they come out intimidated because you had all these fans? You can say the
same thing about England. England lost the first 2 matches extremely close. Every single one of these matches have been close. So if you're going to play that this guy or that guy or this guy should play better, get card, it goes both ways. At the end of the day, you have someone that won, you have someone that lost. England, very conceivably, could be up 3-0 right now if they were able to get a better performance from X, Y, or Z.
You're right.
The end of the day is it's always an advantage in the Ashes to play in your home country.
Of course.
Look at what Australia did in Australia against England. Completely embarrassed them. 4 wins and 1 draw.
Right.
And look at what they're doing right now in England. They are a superior team who finally lost a match, and it was very, very close. They are a very, very good team who just won the WTC final, which maybe you don't care about. I do. I think that's a huge feat.
Absolutely.
And they could be up 3-0 as well. They could have won the Ashes. England fought back enough, but I think England needs to fight back even more. I don't know what's going on. They've got to have more consistency. They have it within them, and it's going to be super exciting to see what happens at Old Trafford. Hopefully the rain does not ruin it, but if it does, it does. I'll take a draw at this point. I don't care.
Prediction.
We got to get to that retain, maybe. I want England to win.
Right.
And it's in Old Trafford. You get Chris Wokes in there. That's the difference maker. And if Nathan Lyon is not going to go, that's going to help him out even more.
I hate when people do that, like announcers even do that, and team doctors. Oh, we'll play ear by ear. He's questionable.
No, just say
he's not playing.
He's got a 1% chance of playing.
He's not playing.
That's all you gotta say. That way you're not being completely negative, but just say fans don't get too excited.
Come on.
I think England. I could see it go either way, and that's such a lame way. My prediction is England's gonna win because I want them to, but I can see Australia win. I can see a draw. I won't see a tie, but you never know. These things have been really close.
I'll tell you right now, and I'm not being negative, Nelly. After what, unless Boland steps up, or unless Cameron Green, and that's maybe the savior. They put in Cameron Green.
I don't think you're going to see Boland in the next match.
But if you don't see Cameron Green in there at the same time as Mitchell Marsh, I think because there's no Nathan Lyon's not playing. There's going to be they need those two all-rounders because that was the difference in this game. The two all-rounders for England versus the two all-rounders for Australia. And I think that honestly, the momentum is already with England. If Australia breaks this game, they lose the Ashes. They lose the Ashes because Nathan Lyon is not coming back. And this is what I'm saying. 15 overs for Patty Cummins and the second innings. I think it was 18 in the first innings or something like that. Like, bro, Patty Cummins is bowled four straight matches, 15, 16, 17 overs. Same thing with Mitchell Starc. They're going to break down, Nick. If it gets to game 5, test match 5, and they still have no answer, which they won't, no Nathan Lyon, okay? Who else is taking wickets? People think that's a good thing. I am so concerned that out of 17 wickets they took this last match, literally all but 3 were between those two guys. How much more? We laugh about it all the time, but how much longer can Patty Cummins carry this team on his back?
But at least those guys stepped up.
They're going to be worn down. They're going to be worn down.
Ask me who bowled the most overs for England both times.
Oh gosh, if he said Cricket Volk, I'm going to jump off a bridge.
The guy who they don't even want to invite to anything. They used him the most. I'm just saying.
Are you kidding me? I didn't even realize.
Both innings. Oh, you know I realized it.
Chris Wokes, go kiss some babies. You know what I mean? Like one of those people, the gypsies with the tarot card reader. Something. Because this guy is honestly, he's too good. Nick, 17, 18, 35 overs? Are you kidding me? And he's just he can't even get on the...
You know what he is, okay?
He's a black sheep of the family.
They say that nice guys finish last, right? He's that nice guy, the perfect boyfriend or husband for Alice, we'll call her. Just a girl, right? Beautiful girl. This guy's in love with, but she just uses because she gets bored with him. And she always goes to the bad guys who break her heart, who steal her money, who crash her cars, who's whatever. And then she always goes back to Chris Wokes, the nice guy who's going to take care of her. But that's what they're doing to Chris Wokes. It's not fair. Don't use my man unless you're going to use him correctly, okay? Thank you so much for watching us. Please, please, please let me know. Has Chris Wokes swayed? And don't give me that lame nonsense. We always like Chris Wokes. No, you didn't. I read the comments, okay? Maybe a few of you. Maybe a few of you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time.
That's 6 runs.